Another first-time blooming orchid today, this time species orchid Maxillaria tenuifolia. And you might think I'm baking something with coconut in my kitchen today, but I'm not. It's just the wonderful fragrance of this orchid. All of this and more coming up at the Orchid Hut. Welcome back to the Orchid Hut. My name is Dana, and this is another first-time blooming orchid in my collection. So this is its featured video. I added Maxillaria tenuifolia to my collection several years ago, and it really was just one small group of pseudobulbs with a few grassy leaves. When I purchased it, there was a spike and it did bloom, so I was able to tell what the bloom looked like that very first year that I had this orchid, and I was able to pick up on the wonderful coconut scent. But I have gone a couple of years without being successful getting this orchid to bloom again. And alas, once again, increased light over the winter is what I feel like produced the successful blooming on Maxillaria tenuifolia. Now, there are 6 different blooms here. And because it's in this Talavera Mexican piece of pottery that actually hangs from a grid near my growing space outdoors, I'm not able to let go of this pot because it does not stand on its own. But hopefully you can see the 6 different blooms. Now, this orchid is native to Mexico and down into the areas of Nicaragua. And it is actually a great one to have in your collection, relatively easy to grow. And even when it's not in bloom, the grassy foliage at the end of the pseudobulbs can be an attractive plant. It is a spring bloomer, sort of March-April time frame. It is not really picky about the media that it's planted in, although it prefers to stay damp. And just as it's beginning to get dry, it prefers to be watered again. It does not like to be, though, in soggy conditions, so sphagnum may be the one choice of media that's not a great choice. It can be potted or it can be mounted. Now, for fertilizing, I simply fertilize it like my other orchids, although I do watch the moisture level just a bit more carefully. Over the winter, it was a tiny bit more dry, but it did have high light from my grow lights that I used during the winter indoors. And I think that is what contributed to the blooming this spring. When it's outdoors in natural light, it prefers bright but indirect light, can tolerate some direct sun if it's early in the morning or in the late afternoon. Now, the fragrance on this one is unbelievable. As I'm standing here filming this, it smells like I'm baking a coconut cake or a coconut cream pie in my kitchen, but it's simply the fragrance coming from these 6 different blooms. And I'm hoping that as I pull these blooms a little bit closer to the camera lens, you're able to see the detail of them. They are considered to be an oxblood red color with a yellow or ivory spotted lip. There are some yellow variations of this plant which are also very attractive. I don't have one of those in my collection, but would definitely add one, especially now that I've figured out how to be successful with getting this one to rebloom. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video or learned something new about Maxillaria tenuifolia, please give it a thumbs up. The subscribe button is coming up in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Don't forget the notifications bell to let you know when I've posted something new. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy orchid growing this spring season in the Northern Hemisphere, or I hope you're doing well wintering your orchids in the Southern Hemisphere. Talk to you all next time.